You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. Smitty is live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Get on-demand one-on-one text advice with Smitty at thefantasyfootballshow.com.
You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón.
Get on-demand one-on-one text advice with Smitty at thefantasyfootballshow.com.
You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. Smitty is live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado.
Thanks, Bob. This just in, crossing the fantasyfootballshow.com news desk. Rookie running back Breece Hall looking potentially overvalued walking into 2022. Fantasy football noobs everywhere are chiming in with their take. Let's take a look at some of the reports out there on Breece Hall right now. This report right here from your mom. What about Michael Carter? This is a question that has fantasy football worlds up in arms right now. If Breece Hall wasn't in the picture, let's say Michael Carter would be going in the first round in 2022 fantasy football drafts. That's how important this guy is in this offense. Such a threat. I mean, there wasn't a worse situation than Breece Hall to land in an environment where Michael Carter was ready to take the league by storm. Definitely something to be concerned about moving forward. He plays for the Jets. The Jets never do well. This is something that has perplexed everyone as Breece Hall's value has kind of gone up and down. When it goes up, it's like, this is the Jets, people. Things don't ever turn around. Look at the Bengals. Rookies are unproven. This is probably the most used point against Breece Hall,
and it makes so much sense.
It's like historically, people expect rookie running backs to get volume. But you were wrong about Clyde Edwards-Helaire. This coming from a former follower, not sure what happened to him. He kind of just vanished from the channel. But this guy won't leave me alone about Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Don't trust him! This guy like Clyde Edwards-Helaire!
And then this one. Hall is not proven. He's not proven. This right here is the epitome of every single piece of doubt out there, and it makes so much sense. Why predict something at all? Why try and be ahead of the curve whatsoever? Let's wait for it to be obvious, then let's attack it. Why would we want to try and be predictive with this thing? Let's all sit back, draft the safe players, not go after anybody that might have potential and try and predict, ahead of the curve. Let's make it obvious. Let's get magazines. Let's accumulate.
Yes, it's a
everything
live
we can,
show. Calm
magazine
down.
wise, collect it together, extrapolate it out, and put it into a TPS report and draft based upon it. We'll all share it. I'll fax it to you all later today. I think we solved the enigma that is Breece Hall. I think we all should stay away from Breece Hall in 2022 if we like winning. There are certain things we don't go near, and that's unproven players that haven't yet become what they should become. Teams that don't play well, like the Bengals. Why trust a team that's always
Show incoming. Hang on.
Don't change, right? Don't take a risk. Use the crosswalk. Buckle both seatbelts across you when you get in the middle of the back seat of a car, and don't draft Breece Hall in 2022. It's just too risky at third and fourth round value. I mean, you could get Leonard Fournette instead of Breece Hall, people. Until next time, I'm Smitty from the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk. Let's send it back to Bob. Thank you, Smitty. Sounds like a guy to avoid. In other news, Tua Tagovailoa's looking phenomenal in Miami. Tyreek Hill says he's better than Josh Allen running the ball, better than Patrick Mahomes in terms of like diving and throwing one of those, sidearm no-lookers. He smokes a cigar better than Joe Burrow, and he's got better flow and locks than Justin Herbert.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Boy, oh boy, do we have a show today. We're doing voicemails. We're doing all kinds of goodness. And your boy Smitty is definitely ramping up the Travis Etienne talk, ramping up the Breece Hall talk. We're trying to get people on board this train. Not too many on board because we want to take advantage, but there are so many people. Look at that. Look at that. There are so many there are so many people out there that do not understand how good Travis Etienne and Breece Hall are going to be. In some cases, you can own both of these guys at the same time if you're a smart drafter, if you know what you're doing. And Travis Etienne, this news that's coming out is absolutely asinine. Like, here's one report. Sports Illustrated, John Shipley reports Jaguars head coach Doug Peterson sees James Robinson Achilles as the 3-down back when fully healthy. Now, a lot of fantasy Karens and casuals and fantasy magazine drafters came across this news the other day. And they just, that's it. They read the title. They walked away. He's not expected to be, according to this report, there's another report that says he could be. James Robinson is not expected to be ready for Jaguars training camp next month. People are talking about this guy tore his Achilles tendon, an injury that you just don't recover from, especially in 1 year. Look at Cam Akers. Look how bad Cam Akers looked his first game back. Maybe Cam comes back. Who knows? I'll admit the sum total running back schedule, meaning receptions, rushing yards against, rushing touchdowns against, PPR against, sum total strength of schedule for running backs, not just rushing. The Rams have one of the best in the entire NFL. If Cam can get healthy, maybe Cam does something and surprises me. But guess what? Your boy Smitty doesn't bank on players coming back year one from an injury like this torn Achilles tendon. This is not an ACL. This is not Adrian Peterson. That was an ACL. ACL, I have an entirely different model for the ACL. The ACL's in the middle of the knee, holding the two joints together. The Achilles is on the foot, and the foot at the back of the heel, above the heel, below the calf, is responsible for explosion. You can feel it. It feels like a cord on the back of your leg. This is that prison injury that they give you when you're walking by and Big Bubba takes out and just nips the heel, bro, so you never walk the same again. You're the limping guy. This is an injury that is so hard to come back from. Not saying science hasn't evolved. I mean, stem cell, all the stuff that has been probably shoved in the direction of Cam Akers to get him to be the guinea pig of the new medical technology evolution for Achilles tendon injuries. I'm not saying he can't become that guy, Cam Akers. I'm not saying James Robinson can't become the fastest recovering player from an Achilles tear with all these new therapies and potential things they're trying out. But we have not seen anybody do it yet. They're still in this is the first test case stage of this thing. And James Robinson is not a threat to Travis Etienne. I don't care how many Sports Illustrated was it? John Shipley, you're off my list of trusted sources. This is a garbage report. Because he's got Sports Illustrated behind him, people are going to listen to it and run with it, roll with it, repost it, re-talk about it. But your boy Smitty is going to report on it to shoot it down. This is not something that we need to be concerned about right now. We're not worried about it. Then there was another report that surfaced, I believe this was today, that ESPN writes James Robinson is expected to be cleared to return at some point in training camp. So not at all at the start of it, then which meshes with the Florida Times Union report noted on Sunday. Robinson may not have much runway to get ready for the season with this timeline, but it sounds like he'll be active for week 1 anyway. I don't know that he will be ready for week 1. I'm not 100% sold. I would probably be more leaning in the direction of that he's not fully ready. We hear, okay, maybe there's a little delay. Okay, maybe he'll be ready for week 1. Okay, he's not ready for week 1. And even if he is ready for week 1, he's not going to be fed starter volume. And let's say he somehow, some way develops into a pretty darn good recovery year 1 type of player that comes back, grabs a hold of half of the work between the tackles. This guy Etienne is a PPR monster. He's protected. Half of his work is protected and compartmentalized in this offense because he's the PPR monster. He's going to get maybe 60, 70 receptions in this offense in 2022. He has rapport and used to play with Trevor Lawrence. They have college rapport together. And this guy, Trevor Lawrence, do you think he's going to be like, yeah, let's put the injured guy back on the field, the guy that has no explosion? Because coming back from an Achilles injury, not an ACL, Bob, an Achilles injury, coming back from an Achilles tear, you have no explosion the first year. James Robinson's going to have no